The next day we went up to 14 camp, and all of these were carrying all of our gear. We had probably about 110 pounds each between our backpack and our sled that we were hauling.
How much weight did you tend to lose on each trip?
I lost like 6 pounds on the first part, and then almost 10 pounds on Denali, because you just can't carry enough food to...
The first part was 3 weeks?
The first part was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So then we were at 14. We moved up and made a cache up around here, because this is our main route that we want to do, called the West Rib. It's a more steep climb. A lot less people do it. There's only like 7 groups that do it a year, as opposed to the West Buttress, which is like about 1,100 people do it a year. So we put 2 days of food and fuel up here and buried it in the snow, and then came back down. We did an acclimatization hike just up the West Buttress route. Came back down, and then we went all the way back down from 14,000 feet down to 7,800 feet ski hill camp in one day. It was only 4 hours to do that, come back down, even though it took us 4 hours to go from here halfway all the way up. The sled was, actually we only had one sled coming down that time. So we left one sled up here. We left, I think, just one day of food at 14 camp. And then when we were down here, we went halfway into this valley. It's really avalanche prone, and there's a lot of hanging glaciers up high on these cliffs. So it's a fairly dangerous place to go through, and it's full of crevasses as well. So it's hard to navigate. It takes a while to navigate through all this. So we went halfway in to find a good route through, and then back out, and that was midday. And then that night, at midnight, we woke up, packed up all our gear, and at 2 a.m. we were headed out. We went all the way through here to about here in about 5 hours, and it took us...
safer to travel at night because it's colder?
Exactly.
Is that why you did
Yep.
that?
Yeah. Once the sun starts to hit the snow, it starts to get softer, and it has a much higher likelihood of sliding.
Yeah. I'd seen one of your pictures that had showed an avalanche. How close?
Oh yeah.
How close?
We were quite a ways away from that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so we made it to this point here, and if I zoom in, you can see how heavily crevassed that is. That took us from here to our camp right here, which is, I want to guess it's like half a mile. Took us the rest of the day until about close to 8 p.m. Because we were slowly going through there, searching for crevasses and trying not to fall in them. Then the next day, at I think it was 5 a.m. we got up. There's a small snow gully right here that goes up through here, up to the ridge, and that was definitely the most fun part of the trip. Just like it was nice and steep and technical and really picturesque. And then so we got up to the
technical, like you had to use like gear to help you get up.
Yeah, so we were using ice axes.
Yeah.
And also there's snow pickets. You hammer them into the hard snow, and then you clip your rope to that. So then if you fall, then those stop you.
How your ropes were attached.
Yeah. You're attached to each other. So there's just 2 of us.
Okay.
So if one falls, the other has a chance of stopping.
Or you go.
Or both of you go. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of trust.
So we made it probably up to around here the first day. And we were starting to get really tired. It was probably close to 7 or 8 p.m. that we were getting tired and cold. Once the sun goes away, the sun was on the other side of the ridge. Once the sun goes away, it gets cold really fast. So we went up and found like a really cool little camp spot. It was just barely big enough for our tent, and we stopped there. I have a little video of that later. It was really cool. And then we made it up to our cache the next day. That was only like 3 hours to get up to our cache. We were pretty close. And then we were feeling pretty tired, so we took a rest day. And also the weather wasn't that great for the next day for a summit day. So we had a full day of just hanging out and not doing anything. And then the next day we got up probably, I don't know, not till like 7, and we went all the way up to the summit and back down to our high camp. And then the next day we went all the way out from high camp all the way down to get a plane out. So,
What was your highest height?
the summit is 20,320 feet.
Got a salad dressing bottle there?
It is. We didn't bring that. That was actually for that night. We were still in
Fake
Anchorage.
picture you're showing us?
Yeah. So this was when we were coming in, the ranger station. Registered climbers 1,050. Climbers on the mountain 300. There's only a 4% summit rate so far. And it got better. This was driving in. And that's Denali. Right there. That's Sebastian. I met him when I went down to Bolivia climbing, and pretty much the whole time we could just talk about Denali, so we ended up making it happen. West Rib Cafe and Pub, really good food. They have a beer there called the Ice Axe, and we convinced them that since we climbed the West Rib that they should give us a free mug. It said West Rib.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they did.
What did you feel was your most dangerous time?
Definitely through the valley. They call it the Valley of Death. There's only been 2 deaths, there's only been 2 deaths that they know of in there. And they went missing. They probably fell in a crevasse and never heard of again. But it wasn't from an avalanche. So if you go when it's not avalanche prone, you're pretty safe.
But you did hit a time when it was avalanche prone. If you had 3 days of whiteout?
That was a couple weeks beforehand. Yeah. So if we had gotten enough snow, more than a few inches, we would have waited at least a day or 2 to go in there. This is the bush plane that we flew in on.
That was Sierra.
Hiking in, this is showing our sleds. And actually the west buttress is so full of people that a lot of the trail is packed down enough you don't need to use snowshoes. We used snowshoes for like the first few miles when we got there, and then we were pretty good. We got solid.
You have the one before this, the sled that is attached to you. Are those things like hard so that if you're going down, the sled doesn't run into you?
No. Some people do have those, but if you're going down like just a short section of down, then you'll have it just slide next to you and you'll hold onto the rope and hold it next to you. If you go down for a long time, like when we went down the whole route, we put the sleds in between us, so the rear person is actually holding them from sliding forward. And then if you have to go over a little knoll, the front person has to hold both sleds. And so we switch it back and forth.
So why can't you just get on and slide down?
We did it on some shallow sections, but it wasn't all that safe. This is at 7-8 camp. So this is the valley in here, and then this is the trail that goes up.
Are there times of the year where you shouldn't be hiking this?
Denali at all? Yeah, I mean the climbing season is only from, what is it, early May to late July, I think. Earlier than that, I mean people do go, but it's way colder.
Okay.
And then later than that, the crevasses aren't covered by enough snow to really make much progress.
Okay.
How many hours of daylight do you have at that time?
Like, I mean, it never gets to actually dark. It only gets to dusk.
So traveling at night, you can see.
It's actually kind of nice traveling at night because it's not as hot. This sun is really hot. Yeah. So that's our cache that we left down at 7-8. Some ice climbing tools and food and fuel. This is at 11,000 foot camp. That's leaving 11 camp, going up the hill. That hill was, when we were at 11 camp, we could see parties leaving, and then like after we were done putting our tent away, like, and getting all our gear packed up, maybe an hour later, people were, the same party was still like just cresting the top of the hill. It didn't look that big or that long, but everything's so deceiving out here for size. So the sleds were not fun to begin with, but then when you had to side hill with them, they were even worse. And then when you had to pass someone, it was annoying. When we got to 14 camp, there was this guy handing out food.
Nice.
He had like, I think they were called like stoop waffles or something like that, but they were like just pure honey and sugar waffles. It's really good.
How did he end up with so much extra?
He wasn't going up with the rest of his team, and they were just a couple days from leaving, so he was handing out food. It's really common for people to be giving away their food when they're going down because they don't want to carry it. So when you're in the snow, you can make pretty much whatever you want. Make a table for a kitchen. And this is at 14 camp. This is the cutoff trail that we went up to go make the cache on this ridgeline. This is the ranger station over here. They set up a temporary camp. That was regular pasta that we had made. We had found an entire bulb of garlic on the trail, and so we decided to make really garlicky meals from then on. It's supposed to help you with acclimatization, eating garlic. So some people actually just will take a clove of garlic and eat it. Yeah, it's a little gross. I didn't try that. Playing games in the tent.
I wondered what you meant when you said you didn't take any entertainment at one point.
Yeah.
So when you did take it?
When we did, it was, this was tantrics. It's little tiles, and you choose a color that you want, and then try to make the longest line. Brought a deck of cards, brought a book, music. This is a view at 14, that's Foraker in the background.
Were those clouds in the background?
Yeah, these are clouds here. So I was making wands, taping bright colored duct tape to the bamboo sticks to find our way to either caches or find our way back down from the summit.
So you stick them in long and you go up?
Yep. And then this one is Hunter. Hunter and Foraker are pretty popular mountains to climb up there as well. Not quite as high, but breakfast in bed. This is going up the cutoff trail to go make our cache. So we went all the way up this. There was a climber that actually fell down this as we were going up, and he was tumbling for like 2,000 feet fell into a crevasse and passed away. We went to try to go see if he was okay, and he was gone when we got to him. So that was the helicopter to take him away.
You said he fell into the crevasse, it was roughly 60 feet.
60 feet deep, yeah.
That didn't scare you at all?
It did a little bit. It was a little screwy to see. Yeah.
And he just lost his footing, you think?
Yeah, so they were doing a really light approach to Summit, and therefore they could do it all in one push from 14 camp. And they were on skis. They had been probably moving for close to 30 hours at that point, so they were tired, just wiped out, and not roped together. If they were roped together, they probably would have been able to stop him from falling. But being on skis and roped together isn't convenient at all, so not too many people do it.
Like you do, right?
Yep. Well, I wasn't on skis. I'm not good enough to ski this. This is a guy down here for the size.
Yeah, so it doesn't look far from here, but
Exactly,
it really
yeah.
is far.
Yeah. This is going up the cutoff trail again. And then, so we, just below here, we made the cache, and then we decided to rappel down. This is called a V-thread. We have ice screws to put into the ice as you go up, and you clip your rope to that. But for going down, you don't want to leave the ice screws in there because they're expensive, and you need them for climbing. So you cut 2 holes through the ice and connect them in a V, and then thread the cord through, and then you can rappel off of that. This cord ends up staying up there.
Is it, if you find somebody that's already done something like this, do you generally trust or do you mistrust what they've laid?
I wouldn't trust something that I found. I mean, sometimes, especially in ice, because if it's a day old, it could have turned rotten already. Because the ice right here we dug out of a few inches of snow, so the snow was protecting the ice and keeping it solid. But once the sun hits it, it turns it rotten, and so it's not very strong.
So how far apart are those ropes at the top?
This is probably 12 inches, 14 inches.
And how do you get those out again?
You don't, those stay there.
Those up there.
Yep, this is our climbing rope that we're rappelling off of.
Well, and, oh, I see what you're saying. I got it now.
What's that?
Instant potatoes and sausage. That was one of the better meals that we brought up there.
It wasn't? Or
It was, yeah. But the sausage was heavy, so we didn't bring that much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right?
Then inside the vestibule of the tent, it's just an area in front of the tent where you don't have the floor, so you can cook out here. This is just heating up water.
If other groups are also climbing, do you find that people get in other people's way?
On certain sections, like there's fixed lines on the West Buttress.
That everyone uses?
Everyone uses, yeah. It's steep enough where they don't want just anyone going up without fixed lines. So I mean, we were doing stuff that steep on the West Rib, but it's much less populated, and you don't have people paying to be on the mountain that shouldn't be there and don't know what they're doing.
Who sets up those fixed lines?
Oh, the rangers. So on the fixed lines, there's just tons of people. Some people have like full packs. They're going up to make our camp, and they're going slow. So then other people behind them get angry and try to go around them and drop snow on your ice. And it's
So some social issues.
yeah, absolutely.
So if you came across someone else's ice pick or whatever it is that you use to keep in the snow, that they had left behind, would you pull that out and take it with you?
If there was no one around and it would be useful, yeah.
You don't find that people do that?
No.
They don't leave things behind?
No, that'd be pretty weird. They would have left it there if they were repelling off of it.
But not other than that?
Right. Playing cards. This is inside the tent. This is 0 degrees. This is the pressure, 577 millibar. So sea level is 1,000. So we're almost close to half the atmospheric pressure. Is that sea level? 2:30 a.m.
Are your ears popping all the time?
No, because I mean you do it slowly enough that it, like when you take off in a plane, you change pressure really quickly. So.
What about your breathing?
Breathing was hard. Yeah. Once I got to 14 camp, I started to feel altitude a lot. So just bending over and then standing up from putting in a tent stake or something, I got like wicked lightheaded and had headaches. But then that goes away in a couple of days.
The respiratory specialist, yeah.
So is Denali like one of the summits? Like, are you getting to the maximum of what you can do unrespirated, like with help?
It's close to kind of. So since it's at a really high latitude, it feels like it's higher up. It feels like it's about 25,000 feet. At 26,000 feet, you start to need oxygen. So it was close. This is our tent wasn't breathing all that well, so all the moisture from our breath was condensing and then freezing on the tent walls, and then it would snow on you. And that was pretty miserable. This is from 14 camp. You could go out onto, they call it, what is it, Edge of the World Rock. And then you can look down. This is 7,800 foot camp down here, and this is into the valley below. And so we went out here to see if there was any tracks going in there, hoping that we had something to follow. And to try to kind of eyeball a route, so you can kind of see that going through the center would hopefully be a good route. So then we went all the way back down to Ski Hill Camp, 7-8. When we were, yeah, so then we did the halfway into the valley, then come back out, and then everybody that was coming down the hill, we were asking how much snow are they getting up at like 11, because that's what we were concerned about for avalanches. This guy was from Spain, and he had just summited the day before, and he was looking to get rid of all of his food, so we like offered him a hot drink, and he was just giving us all of his food, and we had a feast that night. It was really nice. He even had cheesecake. We also met up with two Mexicans, Daniel and Carlos. They had just graduated from college, and they were a lot of fun. They were also doing the West Rib, and so we kind of teamed up with them. So there they are in the center. And then that's Sebastian, the guy I was calling with. You can kind of see I got pretty badly burned that day.
How much that hurt?
That hurt a lot. And like my lips got burnt too, so whenever I drank a hot drink, that hurt too. That's the cheesecake. He even had crushed walnuts to sprinkle on top. So that was our tents before we left to go into the valley. That's us thinking we're gonna get through the valley fast, being all excited. And then so this is at the end of the valley, that section that took us forever. You can just see how broken up it is. And that's what we were looking up at, all the hanging glacier, possible ice fall kind of stuff. This was actually like a little hole through here. You know, kind of a bridge going across. It's neat. And so sometimes crevasses are large enough to go down inside of, so you rappel down in, keep making more progress towards your camp, and then climb out. This is me testing a crevasse, or sorry, a snow bridge to see if it would hold. So I have my ice axe and I'm kind of poking it into the snow to see how solid it feels.
Do you carry hefty life insurance?
I'm sorry?
Do you carry hefty life insurance?
Yeah.
Will they insure you?
I don't know. Actually, the little satellite messenger, I paid like another $10 or $15 for rescue insurance at least, which can be really expensive.
The rescue.
To the rescue. This is when we finally got to the base of our climb, and then our climb is just right up there. This is the most fun section that we had. This is looking down. I just placed a snow picket here, and that's clipped to the rope, and then that's Sebastian down there. Yeah. Yeah, get up to like 55, 60 degrees snow. Then this is topping out on the ridge line. So this was kind of a cornice. If we were any closer to that, it has the potential to break off. So you want to keep a good distance away.
And how far back is the person you're attached?
He would be 20 meters away. Because we coiled up. We each had a third of the rope coiled around us, and then a third between us. And that way, if one of us fell into a crevasse, we knew that we had enough rope for another rope to go down in that you can attach your pack to or something like that, because your pack's heavy enough that you want to get it off your back. Yeah. So then this is all that junk that we went through that took us forever to go through too. Oh, this is actually at the bottom of it. This is called a bergschrund. It's where the upper snow and or glacier meets the lower, and there's always a large gap there. And so like right underneath here is a big hole. And carrying a lot of weight and not finding very good ice, I ended up having to put my knee up there and climb up. It was pretty awkward. This was the view from our camp that we had made. Actually right over this little edge. It's like a foot and a half away. It was all the way down to the valley, so we'd climbed like 3,500 feet up from the valley. So that was the cliff right in front of us. View from inside the tent. And then that's where the tent is with that view. Then this is the last section up through here. This snow gully is where we went up, and then you meet the flat section of the West Buttress route, and then you move to the right, and then the summit's up there. Then you can see 14 camp down there. This, probably right around here, was that lookout rock that we were on.
It's deceiving, it doesn't look that far.
Yeah.
And it looks flat. It looks pretty flat.
Right? Well, I mean, this you can hardly see the tents, but ridge to the summit. There's the top.
So how much time did you spend at the top?
15, 20 minutes. It was actually really nice out. It was, the high for the day was -15, but there was no wind, so it was actually really pleasant up there. Yep.
Well, that doesn't look safe.
Well, the part that I'm on is safe. If I went out there, it wouldn't be safe. The fact that Sebastian has the rope so loose isn't safe.
Oh.
It's funny stuff, like seeing pictures like this and noticing that your partner wasn't really paying that much attention. That was my company flag. Probably should have gotten to pay me for that or something.
The overnight air shipped that to you.
Yeah.
Halfway through your trip.
Right.
Somebody
Yep.
thought it'd be cool to do that.
Right.
So you should have got like a diamond flag. I saw a picture.
Probably,
of that. I was like,
yeah.
oh, I should have held that up, or held up your gear, and then it's not a magic.
Yep. This is an avalanche falling. Actually, like a Serac caused avalanche, probably.
What's that?
I want to say it. A Serac is just hanging ice. It's from above where you have a glacier coming off a cliff, and it's the ice that's has the potential to fall. It's a Serac. Playing right out, and then we finally see some green.
So what's your next goal?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Stay warm for a while.
Yeah, relax for a little
Some
while.
weight back.
Yeah. So there's some more climbers registered since we got back. Climbers on the mountain increased up to 42% rate, and that's probably about what it'll stay at for the season. That's pretty typical.
Now, that doesn't matter which route they took to get there?
Nope,
Just
it
that
doesn't.
Just takes into account the grenade was on that.
Exactly. At the end of the year, they divide it out into routes.
But you took the harder of the two routes, right?
Harder of tons of routes, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it was like medium difficulty. There's definitely harder ones on there.
Oh.
And then we did some time-lapse stuff with the GoPro. Setting up the tent at 11,000 feet.
Did you wish it happened that way?
Yeah. And then this a megamid is essentially just a little pyramid tent. You typically use it for cooking or just a hangout spot. Oops.
You have to do this every time you set up?
No, this was,
You're making
we
your
brought
kitchen?
it because it'd be a nice kitchen. We ended up using it as a tarp for the majority of the trip, but we were kind of bored today, so. And then another really good picture or video.
I've heard about flotation devices that you use for avalanches.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried one of those? Do you carry one of those?
I don't. They're like, it's like $600. And we weren't, I don't know, we honestly weren't traveling in an area with like tons of avalanche danger. Or at least not at the time.
Oh, so you don't carry one? Did you
No.
say there was a price to them?
They're very expensive, yeah, like $600.
They're pretty new on the market.
Right, yep.
Tell your dad that's a good business deal.
Yeah.
$600.
It's more weight to carry too, so
Yeah.
you gotta consider that.
Well, yes. Is it really very heavy, do you know?
I don't know. I haven't even looked
I would
into
think
it.
they would have taken that into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are good. We gotta get them home.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good travel home. Oh, okay.
I think I'll have to narrate for this, but this is at the camp that we made on the ridge.
I like planning parties at your house.
You're on your own though.
Oh, a bit slow-mo.
That sounded a little
Yeah.
too much whiskey maybe.
So how would you describe this camp that we're in? Is it high and gnarly?
And then, oh, yeah, that's it. The abyss. There's a 14 camp just around the corner to the right on that flat plateau. Gorgeous views. Starting to cloud in down there. So then we got looks pretty solid underneath the tent at least. We got some rocks here.
No.
And we got tires on.
So we climbed up that part right there. Yeah. So the far corner of the tent was also over the other edge. That was where Sebastian's feet were, so we were okay with that.
You were.
Yeah. He said he was fine. So that's the majority of the good stuff.
Wow,
We
that's
got
so
a video of
impressive.
you at the top too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right. Figure out which one that is. This is on the way up. Sweet.
Denali, McKinley, whatever you want to say it. What's that thing?
Now what? I'm on the left. I'm on the left. I'm just on the left.
Nice day.
It was calm too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. We didn't make a change on Nate's timesheet this last time, did we? Or did we?
We did.
We did, okay.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so what, tell me exactly what it was. I want to make sure I get this right.
That Marie thing,
I'm sorry?
the Marie thing,
Yeah,
doesn't show up on any transaction. I mean, it
does it
made,
show that the,
I went back to
Yeah.
January, and then I looked at the main account, thinking, well, maybe they screwed up and put it in,
right.
it's not there either.
How
And then
do
I
you-
thought, well, maybe they put it through after I had reconciled.
Right.
It's not
right.
there.
So you just looked again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna ask Gene Mazzillo to look at it and see if he sees it too.
Yeah, I mean, it says, you know, for 2/29, blah, blah.
Yep,
And then in March, for March 30th, blah, blah,
yep,
that's it.
right, okay. Okay, all right.
So,
I'll look at that with Gene and see if he can see it. I mean, you know, he may be looking at it, could look at it a different way that Jamie does or something, I don't know.
yeah, but how can you reconcile something if you can't see a transaction? I
That's
mean,
right. That's right, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Oh, sorry. 66 on the count it was on.
Yes, correct. Okay, so 66. Now, how many hours does he have left on his vacation time? I think it's at over 20. That's what I calculated.
Why do we care? I gotta write my notes here just to make sure. 24.
You have 24 hours left?
Uh-huh. Isn't that what you had? Let me look just a second. I don't know why I didn't use today since that one. No, I have 24 down.
Okay, well, I think it's going to be overspent a little bit, but it depends on when you leave. That's the whole thing. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, so the next time sheet definitely put on
The whole thing.
the whole thing. So override until they'll have some money left in there. I would cover the vacation time. But again, it's really hard to know when he's gonna leave and continue to accrue.
Right.
The other option is to switch his payroll to the two account. So that way, that would be what it would be using. I think that may be the way to do it, just to cover this.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of money in his two account either.
No, I know that.
So,
How much? I did this before. right now it'd be $1,400. That would be paid out to him.
1,400.
Right, for vacation.
You've got 8,000 in there, so.
Okay.
You can go for a while.
He's gonna be doing another invoice.
Right.
Right, so maybe it would be best to change the account that he be paid from the source to the to account. That way, if he does terminate, that pay will come out of the to account. In the meantime, we can make sure that any timesheet that he has going forward will be charged to the 5 account. And I'll keep track of exactly how much is being used. And you see what I'm saying?
There isn't any money in the 5 account. What you said?
There is, okay? I'm allowing for some money to be used for vacation time,
Right.
okay? So if I don't do it that way, and I have his vacation time and pay coming out of the 2 account, then we've got some more left in the 5 account. Okay? And then this way we'll know exactly how much is spent to not overspend that. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it for him for now.
Yeah.
Since we don't know when he's going to end.
No, we don't.
It was 6 weeks total. The first 2 weeks I did on the Ruth Glacier, so we flew in and it was essentially car camping. We got dropped off by a bush plane, and we had actually a lot of